Today I have an interview with one of my best friends. She is not only a full-time worker, she is a mother, a wife, and she does a lot of side hustles and opened up her own business. And I'll let her talk a little bit about this. Without further ado, I have Miss Maria
Mendoza.
Miss Maria Mendoza. Tell us a little bit about yourself and you got everything started with your business.
As you mentioned, I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, I'm a doggy mom, and I'm a business owner. So 2 years ago, I lost my job, like a lot of people, because of the pandemic. And in a way, I'm thankful because I feel like that was like the great push for me to start my business. I feel like a lot of people kind of like, not a dream, a goal, become their own bosses, and I'm one of those people. And in a way, it was a great push to me. Of course, it was very depressing because I had been working for this company for almost 5 years, and I given my all to this company, and I was one of the ones on the list to be let go, which was pretty depressing. It was a good thing because I started my own business. When I started, it wasn't easy. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I just decided from one day to another to just start my business. It wasn't. It required an investment of money that I didn't have, but somehow I just made it work out. I started selling personal belongings, and I worked in retail. I had like a lot of like makeup I just didn't use. It was just there. Just started selling it. I gathered up an amount, I invested, and I created my business, which is Luscious Beauty Cosmetics, and it's a lip gloss line. And I'm very, very happy and excited because I'm currently rebranding right now. Let me show you a couple. Even though I'm in the middle of rebranding, these are actually can be discontinued, but just so you can get an idea of what I'm capable of. I'm just kidding. What I make. These are some of them. This is gingerbread. There's a couple little gingerbread men in there. I have chocolate cookie flavored. I have teddy bears. This one's chocolate flavored, and it has teddy bears because I'm obsessed with teddy bears. Coffee bean, which is currently a customer favorite. This is like my top seller right now. It's like this pretty brown, cool mauve type of shade, and it just works beautiful with all skin tones. Fortunately, these are going to be discontinued. They're probably going to be like for a seasonal, you know, like Christmas and fall. But as in for now, I'm currently working on something else. I will be rebranding. It's going to be a whole bunch of amazingness. And I'm currently working on another small business that I'm not really going to talk about it because it's still in the works, but jumping into another one.
Okay. So for me, especially, it just amazes me how somebody who I went to high school with you. I've known Maria for about 21 years now. We met in 4th grade and we went from middle school, elementary to high school and beyond. And I suck at chemistry and a fanatic of math, but when it came to sciences, I did not excel. But even then, you were able to create your own formula and you were able to make your own type of lip gloss and your own experimentation with different flavors and stuff. How do you even start something like that?
And that's actually a really good question. Like the main question I get every time I make a post on my TikTok account is like, how do you start a business? How do you so much? And like you said, creating your own formula and stuff like this, you do. I mean, there's already vendors out there who all you do is just buy them in jars, just fill your tubes, and you're good. They even sell them in tubes already. You could just stick on your logo, your brand, and you're good to go. It's honestly a lot of research, and as much as I can tell you exactly how to make the formula that I make, it's just not going to be the same because it just might be something that's not going to work for you. It generally has to be something that you put your heart to it and your own creation. It was a lot of research, it was a lot of failed mixtures, and a lot of stuff went to waste. Of course, it's just like any business. There's some investments that are gonna succeed and some that you're just gonna have to wait until it comes back in the long run, and that's just how it is. You know, don't be scared. Like, it seems like, oh my god, you have to have all this money so you can make the investment, and you don't, honestly. And that's something that did hold me back a lot for a long time from just starting. You can literally start with just like $20, $50. Like now, Amazon has like these kits for like $50. It creates like 10 to 15 lip gloss. You can like sell that, take half of that, or just reinvest the whole amount. It's eventually gonna come back. But I personally started with just $200. You don't have to go with thousands like a lot of people make it seem. You see all these pages and you see them with so much stock, and it doesn't have to be that way, honestly. Like, it could just be 15 products you can start selling within your friends, your family members, and just get that money and reinvest it. I don't want to make it sound super easy because it wasn't. It's a lot of time consumption. It's something sleeping really late, knowing exactly what is it that you want to accomplish and just sticking to that, and always believing in yourself, because they're gonna see how hard this is. Sometimes you're not gonna see sales in a long time, and out of nowhere you're just gonna see a whole bunch of sales. But my main thing is, even if it's just research, but start.
Okay, thank you. One of the main things of this podcast is to be able to find the unicorn in you. That means is finding what makes you special and what allows you to shine above the rest. So for me, I've always seen that you have this ambition. You do not allow yourself to take no as an answer. If there's a barrier, you're constantly trying to overcome that barrier. Learn how to accomplish it so that way you can continue going. So what allows you to give you that drive? What makes you that unicorn that you are inside right now?
That ambition, I feel like, comes from like my hunger for the success. I just see it, like have like this dream, like I have this vision of myself and I picture myself being her. I know the only way for me to become her is this successful woman that I see in my mind is putting the work to it. It's not gonna fall from the sky. I'm not trying to say a 9-to-5 job is not gonna get you anywhere. If you really want to make something happen, you have to go beyond a 9-to-5 job. And there's like this quote that I read one time and it's stuck with me since, and it's true, and it comes from Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And it said, don't just work your 9-to-5 job and not look on your dreams when you come home because you're tired. Like, you're not tired, you're just uninspired. And it's true. Like, if you really want it, there's no excuse. There's no like, I'm tired, because trust me, as a mom, a daughter that takes care of an elder person, a wife, a home that I have to take care of, like there's so many things I juggle together. You just have to find time. In the moment that I got let go, who think I would all the time in the world, but no, I was doing other stuff. Like, I'm a makeup artist, a reselling business too. It's stuff I have to do every day. Take care of my loved ones. I have to handle my little small business, and it's all these things plus find time to create. To in my case, make batches and batches of formula, and then as I'm working on another small business, is staying hungry. Just staying hungry for success. And obviously, you get to your goal, and you're okay with that, and you're happy with that. Cool. I'm just the type of person that just. For example, when I got certified as a makeup artist, after I got certified, like that was my main goal. And once I did, I was like, okay, now what? All those like bad situations like that, like keeping them in mind, remembering that it couldn't be that bad, and just keep working hard, just keep doing something. You might be wanting to open a business of something. I don't know, let's say candle making. My good friend here, he has a candle making business, which he's thinking about dropping because he's already graduating into something greater for himself. I mean, he's like, well, that didn't work out as good as I wanted it to. I'm gonna do something greater for myself. Like, you might have to open like 5 to 10 small business before you get to your main one, and that's just part of it. The main thing here is that you keep working towards something that you want, and not just for somebody, because you're gonna have times where you're like, I'm just gonna keep my 9-to-5 job, whatever. Like, it's easier, but the goal, the main thing here is that you keep your vision clear and your goals straight, so that you can keep working at them, so that when you want to give up, you don't. Nothing great is easy, and if it was, I feel like everybody would not just do it, but also succeed at it.
That's amazing.
Just keep yourself hungry all the time.
And I think that differentiates a unicorn from an ordinary Joe or an ordinary Jane. I feel that individuals who are unicorns are individuals that see beyond what's in front of them. They get to the point of things, and they try to always get bigger and better, and take failure as an opportunity to learn and to keep growing. Mm-hmm. Like you said, when you started doing batches, like, this didn't work. Oh wait, let's throw this in the trash and start from the beginning.
You're gonna get a lot of no's. Have your no already, now go find your yes.
Exactly. And they always say you're gonna get 50 to 100 no's before you finally get a yes.
Absolutely.
I know when I was doing the candle business, it was very slow at first. I was very nervous. I started a business, and it was called Raygoza Siblings. With my little sister, we were both living in the same household, and we were both, well, how can we make extra money? It was a pandemic. We were down cash, and we were like, how can we make more money? So we decided to make rainbow candles to represent our.
Can I show it?
Yeah, go for it.
I have it like in this pretty crown stand. Accomplishment of an amazing friend. For me, it's memorable. This is the candle. This smells amazing. This smells amazing. So this is the candle. It comes with one of these like this, and you can either burn them together, where this would eventually burn into dar. You can burn this on the side of somewhere else, which I have this as decor on my desk. But I just want you guys to see, like, he had a vision and he made it happen. And for one day we're gonna be like, oh my god, remember when you just started making candles and now you're doing this? Well, it's amazing, you know? The
reason we started doing that was because to find innovative ways and trying to spread awareness and make some money on the side. The reason I decided to no longer do that is just it's a lot of work for one person. My sister ended up moving to Washington. Now it's just getting really hard, and I'm going into my business right now, which is business consulting. You can actually check me out at Raygoza-Consulting.com. Trying to just work really more on that. That's the whole reason I'm going to school, and really trying to expand that. But it was very fun in doing that, and that's something that I really want to encourage listeners, is that just because you try something and it didn't work out doesn't mean that you're a failure.
Yes.
You have to be able to try different things over and over and over again, and keep that experimental process open and mindset, because through that you're gonna get inspired to do more and more things. And being smart about it, don't invest all of your money into everything and end up being broke and having debt, but investing a little bit, like you said, like those extra $20 that you have, you know, instead of going clubbing that night or having that extra Starbucks that weekend. I mean, you have to sacrifice everything, but just little by little and putting more time into yourself and into your businesses so you can go. For me personally, I like working for somebody else, but I want the independence. I've always wanted to be better and be able to shape more people. My whole goal is to be able to help individuals reach their full potential, because a lot of people don't learn that. If you know, our education system, we went to the same high school. It was learn to take the tests and go out and work. The school counselor told me, it's okay if you just go to McDonald's. You don't have to go to college. It's fine. But I was just like, no, I need something better. I need something bigger. And I feel that...
Wow, they told you that?
Yeah, and look at where I'm at now.
She was like cancer. She's like the worst cancer dude. Yeah, I feel like she really did not give a crap about.
Honestly, I think a lot of people, I know a lot of individuals that had her, and unfortunately, it's just like she was burned out herself. And she just didn't really care anymore. She was going through the day-to-day. It was going for a paycheck. And that's actually something that I want to go into, and it's a good segue into my next question. Is this podcast is sponsored by my business, Raygoza Consulting, and one of the programs that I'm offering, it is free. It's an online group where you can meet with other individuals. It's called BYOB, Bring Your Own Burnout, and essentially is to be able to invite individuals on a free platform to be able to talk about their own experiences that they're having at work, their struggles from their supervisors to the workload, and really talk about work toxicity. And it's like, I've experienced that, and for my research and everything that I've done for my doctoral program and even through just life experience, it takes 3 to 5 years for you to recover from burnout, because it is a mental condition. One of the most shocking things that I've heard is that burnout can have similar trauma as you being in a domestic violent relationship.
Yeah, I believe it.
You know, you get the same type of PTSD effects.
Yeah, I believe it.
So going with you, I know you said that you got laid off at your old job and you've gone through a few employers. What's burnout to you, and what's been your whole experience with that?
I got let go. I was already at a point where I'm like, this job already, but it's kind of like it is kind of like a domestic violence relationship, because you know you deserve better, but you decide to stay. Either fear of ending up in a worst work environment, or you don't have it that bad, so just stick around. And then sometimes we have this idea of, oh, it's work, it shouldn't be fun, but it shouldn't be that way. Once you're not happy anymore and it's a toxic environment, you're just not happy, you have to put an end to it. When I did get let go, I was ready to go. Like I was ready to go, but I wasn't. I was ready to look for better opportunities. At the same time, I wasn't planning on it, so it still took me by surprise, and I was sad about it, because I was like, damn, I've been in this place for 5 years, and I was just like in this comfort zone. It was just working out for me. Even though I wasn't happy, it was still working out for me, so therefore I was staying around. But the burnout symptoms are, I want to say, like, start giving up on your dreams, but you really start to see them further and further. But that's all you, though. That's all because you decide to stick around. And I feel like them letting me go gave me that push to force me to start. Had I not, I'd probably still be working there right now. And the whole lip gloss thing and the whole next business I'm working on, it'd still be like a vision in my mind, but that I'm not making it happen. I'm just thinking about it, because that's how I was. And I didn't really freelance before I left that company. I was so burned out because retail talent is exploited to the max, and you're not even getting paid your worth. You're getting paid on the hour and doing all these different things that you didn't even sign up for. Because you know how to do it, you're gonna do it. And I was just burned out. It got to the point where I was no longer interested in doing anybody's makeup. So get great opportunities. We're talking about like almost $1,000 worth of a 1 day worth of work of makeup, and I will say no to it because that's how burned out I was. So what was I doing? Focusing on just accommodating that 9-to-5 job. Just imagine turning down opportunities for a company you're not even happy with because of how burned out you are.
What are some things that you would say to help them get past that burnout?
Just quit your jobs and move on. I'm just kidding. Start doing your research. There has to be something out there other than what you're currently doing. Like, I just have a high school diploma, and there's still great opportunities out there for me. Imagine like you preferring to stay in a shitty job, turning down great opportunities just because you're scared or you're afraid of ending up in a worse position. Be afraid. And if you are scared, I'm not gonna be here like quit your jobs now, like this is what you gotta do. No, that's so unrealistic. We all have bills to pay. But start looking into it. Like actually look into it. Look for opportunities. Make those calls, because do something about it. Take action. Don't let another 5 years of your life go into this company when you can be doing something great for yourself.
So you just went from being from a follower to a leader. So what are some leadership advice or leadership tips you want to give out for other people to become the leader that you are?
All I can tell you is start working towards it. Even just doing an hour of research a day towards starting your job, your dream job, whatever. Come up with the game plan. Okay, I'm currently working for this place and I work these many hours. At this time I can start doing this and that for it. And if there's one thing that is gonna get you there, is discipline. And that's what you have to do. You have to stick to it. Like, remember, this is gonna be your actual job one day. So you wanna treat it as one. It's not just, oh, I have a business and I get to stay and chill at home. No, you have to treat it as one. As I told before, I wake up at 4 a.m, you guys. Every single freaking day. I wake up at 4 a.m, and even then I still feel like I'm not doing enough, which don't feel that way, because anything you do towards it counts. But I just wake up that early because I want to make sure everything in my house is set. That way I can invest a certain amount of hours in the morning towards my multiple little small business, like my reselling pages, reposting, working towards what I'm working right now, making a couple of those, having those in the works, making content for my lip gloss business too, and more ideas, and working towards those ideas that I have coming up for my rebranding. Now, you don't have to wake up every day in the morning at 4 a.m, like my crazy, but right? It's just come up with a game plan. Like, involves you taking action, you making it happen. Don't rely on anyone. I will say though, I'm very blessed that my husband is working extra hours in his job, so I don't have to work as much. That way I don't feel as burned out, because as women, our roles are triple. We have to take care of a home, we have to take care of, in my case, a son, my mom, and himself, and I have to make sure everyone's fed and a home is clean. On top of that, I have a job, I still have a commitment with someone else. It's just me waking up early enough to where I can manage everything together. Nobody's gonna get you there. It's a matter of you taking action. And if it requires for you to wake up earlier than usual, then that's what you're gonna have to do. Commitment and discipline.
One thing I wanted to bounce an idea off of you, because a lot of individuals, we're taught that do things based off of tasks. So let's say that, like if you're starting to the gym, you have to go 3 days a week for an hour each. But the problem with that is that you miss one day, you feel like a failure.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I'm done. So I know you said do research at least 1 hour a day, but then the one day you don't, you're like, damn, I didn't have enough time. And the next day something happens and you start really digging at yourself and failure starts to creep on. So one thing I heard from a podcast is the Thermometer Approach. Let's say you want to do 7 hours of research that week, right? You said 7 hours a day. So you put that 7-hour mark at the end of the thermometer, and that's your week goal. Post it somewhere, wherever you want. And set little micro goals in there where you put like 1 hour, 3 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours. Whenever you have time, let's say if it was only 20 minutes that day, you fill up that thermometer with 20 minutes. So you see, okay, I made progress towards the goal. Next day, you can be like, I have nothing to do today. I'll do 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then you shade it in, and then you do that until you reach your 7-hour goal. So same thing can be applied for any other habit. Do you think that would work out for like people, or do you think we should stick with the old traditional, like we need to do this amount every day?
Honestly, I feel like trying to stick to tasks is what keeps me failing. What keeps me not only feeling as a failure, but failing. Because if you, and I'm not, there's people who are just so freaking disciplined and just so good to it, that task is their thing. The thing is that if you're gonna do that, you have to make sure that you set up realistic goals. Like you just said right now, 7 hours a week, that's totally doable. You can do 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at nighttime every day, and that's your hour a day. You get me? Like, you have to make sure that whatever task you set or whatever game plan you come up with, it has to be realistic enough to your daily lifestyle. You cannot set up a specific time or amount of hours at the moment. From, I don't know, 7 in the morning to 9 or 10, I'm gonna be working just on that. Like, I literally have to schedule myself daily. Like every morning or the night before, I will plan it. Because if I plan ahead, I'm not gonna stick to it. Like, even if I try something, it's life. It happens. You know, something's gonna come up. I don't know, you forgot your dog had a vet's appointment. You have to make sure you're realistic to your lifestyle needs, because if you're not, you're within a day or two, I'm not gonna say you're gonna fail, but honestly, it's gonna be harder. You have to make sure you adapt and make it work for you. You don't work for it.
Very good point. One thing that a leader once told me, you need to learn to under commit and over deliver.
Yeah.
Because if you overpromise, and then you under-deliver, you disappoint somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll never disappoint somebody if you under-promise and over-deliver. I'm only going to put 2 hours this week of research, but you end up doing 7, then you feel better about yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, instead of saying, like, I'm going to do this every day, I'm going to do this once a week, and you end up doing it twice a week, you're like, wow, I feel better. And it helps your self-esteem, it helps your clients to feel better about you because you ended up doing more than what was expected of you. But don't do too much, but then you burn out.
Absolutely. It's true. This applies towards anything. Really, have realistic expectations. Like, have realistic goals, a realistic game plan. Just be realistic.
Last question that I want to say is, individuals were unicorns in your life that inspired you to be the person that you are? Who are the people that stood out that you're like, those are amazing individuals that are not like the rest?
I'm glad you asked me that, because definitely we've known each other since elementary, but I don't think we got as close as when we did in high school, to the point where I was living in his home for a year almost. So until this day, like, I tell my husband, like, I just didn't know how he just did it. He was president of like 4 clubs, and then he was there trying to make me his vice president. I'm like, no way, that's like a lot of, you're crazy, that's a lot of responsibility. So I became his secretary for a couple of them. So I got to see firsthand what he was so capable of. And we're talking about commitment, discipline, dedication, hard work. What I saw, like, he didn't know how to take no for an answer. He was like, growing up seeing that, it's motivating, you know. And I look at you and it's like, if he did it, like, I can do this. Like, and of course, my mom, even though my mom didn't accomplish everything she dreamed of, I admire her work ethic a lot. This woman was so committed, so much, that she ended up in toxic environments too, and tolerated literal physical abuse at work. Like, that's just how much she just so committed, just so, no, I gotta, you know, I gotta do this for my kid. This is what's gonna pull us forward, and this is what I have to tolerate for now. This is what I gotta take. I'm gonna do it. Now, I'm no way, shape, or form telling him, do never, ever, like, tolerate any type of abuse in general. But I admire this woman's work ethic. Like, this is the type, we're talking about a person who will work the graveyard shifts and still manage to find time on a Sunday to take me, my little 11-year-old butt, to, like, you know, the mall to have breakfast. Poor thing was like falling asleep in the parks, but there she was, you know, making it happen and bringing bread and butter to the house and trying to be the best mom she could. I express in words how much I admire that. Like, I admire the strong work ethic. Definitely you and my mom are like the top that I admire, work ethic and enthusiasm and just leadership, especially you, leadership. Like, something I always admire, I think. And the more accomplishments I know that you make, the prouder I am to be called your friend. It's like, wow, he's doing this and that. And when he tells me his stories, it's amazing. It's inspirational.
Thank you. That's very nice. And honestly, I also get inspired by you every time. Like, whenever I would have never decided to even open up my business or even start something like this if it wasn't for you. I started noticing you doing, like, growing on YouTube to getting to 1,000 followers, and then doing TikToks, and then doing all of your little things. And I'm just like, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it too. That's where you need people in your life. Like, you need these unicorns, you need these individuals that inspire each other. Because that's what's going to make you better. That's a really really good point. Like, make sure the people you are surrounding yourselves with are the same people with the same hunger just to succeed, to make something happen. If they're not contributing anything positive to your life, keep your distance from them. Surround yourselves with people who are also hungry as you for success. People who are willing to, like, to give each other a hand, not people who will drag you down. They'll stump them just to make sure they don't get to their level because whatever their miserable as reason is. Like, surround yourselves with positive people and people who you're inspired by, and people who are inspired by you. It's beautiful. You build like a little mini community there. It's an amazing thing. One thing you probably know, I'm obsessed with plants. I always like to think of this plant analogy. If you're a plant growing, sometimes you start branching out. However, the plant's never going to grow the tallest it can unless you cut it all off. Mm-hmm. So you have to cut everything off, even as beautiful as it looks like, because the roots, the stem needs to get stronger. So you're going to endure through some really bad individuals that you have to cut off. Absolutely. That unfortunately you outgrew them. They're no longer part of your life. You're heading to a bigger direction. But as you start growing, new branches start growing out. Those branches start having bigger branches, and you start growing into this beautiful tree that you are. But you can't be afraid to cut off the branches that are no longer benefiting you. The reason you'll outgrow people is because these people don't want to grow anymore. They don't want to grow with you, and they don't want to get anywhere else. Like, they're good. Which, there's something wrong with that. If they're happy that way, it's good enough for them and quit on their dreams.
they no longer want to, then yeah. But there's always room for growth.
There's a difference, because I have a lot of friends that work in different industries, whether they be program directors, whether they be restaurant managers, or even a bartender, or even like at retail. And I still talk to them. The biggest factor is, are they genuinely happy for you when you have successes?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Or are they pretending to be happy for you but are slowly jabbing at you, saying like, oh, that's great, but did you really need to get a doctor? Like, when I went to my doctorate degree, I had so many people that were really like, really? Why are you wasting your money into getting higher education? Where is that going to get you? Like, you're going to be in more debt than you are. Like, and it was just one jab after another and after another. And I was just like, I'm not really feeling good anymore about my decision. But then it wasn't coming from me. It was coming from the outside people. So those are the ones I had to cut out. They're not going to be happy and supportive of me, of making this life choice. Maybe you shouldn't be here to witness me going through it.
Make sure they're contributing something positive, like cheering for you, like, okay, great, that's awesome, damn, like, how many bachelors do you have now? Like 10? Great, go get your 11th. Like, make sure they're at least cheering for you. And I'm not saying like, oh my god, make sure you're surrounded by yes men and praisers, but make sure they're not making those stupid little comments that make you question your own goals. Like when you said, like, I'm not even feeling good about it anymore. I'm trying to, like the little crabs, you know, like they see one going up and they pull him down just to make sure he doesn't get out. Don't the crab effect. They're all stuck in a box. If we're stuck, you're gonna be stuck too. So only you have the power to get rid of those people, and as simple as cutting them.
I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to meet with me and being a guest on my podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please follow her on all her social media accounts, which
Luscious
are
Beauty Cosmetics. Well, my business page on Instagram is luscious.beauty.cosmetics. You can also follow like my makeup page, which is Luscious Beauty. And definitely my TikTok, Luscious Beauty Cosmetics. And if you guys want to follow my personal TikTok, is Mrs. Ginger Spice.
Perfect. And if you really like the content that you heard today, feel free to hit that little bell to subscribe to this podcast. Also be able to follow more of my content on Raygoza-Consulting.com to learn more about my business and everything that I do. Or follow me on TikTok and Instagram at JGRaygoza. And that's also my Twitter as well. But thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, bye.
Bye, guys.